All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Startup Show. My name is Justin Ford, one of the founders of Decimate, which is aiming to solve the problem of monopolies in North America by helping consumers launch a new movement to support alternatives to the big tech monopolies. I'm joined with Div today. Div, why don't you tell us all what you're working on?
Hey, yeah. So I'm currently working on a startup called PickUp Esports, which manages bookings for gaming cafes in person and hosting esport tournaments for amateurs. Kind of what like Javelin does for leagues.
Yes. And Javelin or Javelin Sports would be my other company. We're one of the largest adult rec sports clubs in North America, powered through a mobile app. And what's is actually funny is we are trying to build, or we're trying to take the esports model and bring it to in-person sports. So we think volleyball is a really cool place to bring matchmaking and ladders and leaderboards for players. And I actually heard Div give a pitch
Yeah.
a little bit ago, and he kind of said like, "Hey, it's like we're building Javelin, but for esports." And I'm like, "Oh, that's funny. We went full circle." So
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to have him on the startup show and see if we can chat about that. Um,
Yeah.
so
Uh, so I was just gonna say that was actually funny because the esports, like, I took motivation from you guys and you took motivation from esports, so that was
yeah,
really funny actually.
yeah. We also have a lot of inspiration from chess.com. I don't know if you've looked at them or used that site. Um, But I mean, our rating system for teams is literally an elo system, which was designed for chess. But yeah, why don't you give us a bit more context on kind of where you are right now, and maybe if you want to share a bit on your startup journey before working on your current venture.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I recently just graduated from University of Waterloo like last year, and that's when I kind of had the idea. I saw Javelin actually, and it was actually one of my main inspirations. Which is really funny, because I noticed there was a lack of in person like esports, right? Like there's a lot of already companies built out there that kind of host online tournaments, but I didn't see anything for in-person, esports. I used to go to gaming cafes and I saw, hey, there's like venues, there's sports out there like Javelin that book out uh, venues, but there was nothing for, uh, like this was for sports, but there's nothing happening for esports in a similar aspect. So an idea just came to me that, hey, why don't we book out gaming cafes just like people book out the venues for sports and use them to host leagues and whatever when there's a lot of downtime and the computers aren't being used. So yeah, that idea kind of came to me like a year ago. I worked at Kinder, one of another startup that does dental AI for a lot of the clinics, and I've actually just recently left that job. So very interesting risk I took. But anyways, yeah, here I am, just trying to work on it slowly and kind of doing my own thing so far.
Cool. Um, have you ran any tournaments yet? And if so, what software do you use for them?
Yeah, so glad you asked. We actually have a tournament coming up, and this is our first tournament on the 28th, and the turnout is honestly more than I expected. I expected to be like 3 teams and like 15 people. There's actually now around I think 6 teams, so around 30 people, which is just insane to me. I didn't expect this many people, so kind of validates a lot of my things that I was kind of insecure about. And, yeah, the software I use is just I've built everything from scratch. Obviously, a lot of stuff is vibe coded because, I heard you have to push out a good MVP as soon as possible. Just everything I just use a stack of, Fast API in the background and, like, TypeScript, React in the front end, just using Postgres, things like
Okay.
that. So, yeah.
So you build your own web app, and that's how you're hosting this.
Yeah, I guess sorry, I guess I should have implied also, I graduated with a computational mathematics degree, so I kinda have a little background in software. My previous job, I was a founding software engineer for another startup. So a lot of that experience I kind of applied into my startup here.
Cool. No, I'm impressed. Getting 6 teams signed up on a completely new like website. That's really impressive.
Thank you.
Generally, it's really hard, especially these days, to get people to adopt or try a new piece of software unless the demand is really high. So the fact that you actually got people to sign up and are willing to test out something new, it actually could imply that you're onto something. Um, one thing that's really common to see in this space is people will actually build out a brand on Instagram first. I think Instagram's like super common for hosting events these days, or maybe Luma. They build out their brand through hosting events through there, and then once they have that established brand and they have a pretty big dedicated base, that's when they'll actually launch their own kind of proprietary piece of software, right? And then people are much more willing to adopt that, and that can be kind of a way to solve that problem. The fact that you actually got those signups is good. How did you go about getting those first few teams?
Yeah, honestly, so the thing is, I was very like at the like first week or so, even before, right? I was Man, I just had a lot of doubts in my head. Like there was a lot of times where I'm like, oh man, this is not like no one's interested. I've asked a lot of my friends at the beginning, you know. I tried getting them into it. No one seemed interested. I just thought this was gonna be like a flop. So a lot of doubts kind of came in. I tried starting an Instagram page. Funny thing is, I created some flyers. I tried posting there. My Instagram email got banned, so I couldn't create more accounts. So exactly what you said. I tried kind of doing it, promoting it through social media. I created a TikTok account. Did not work. So all of these things didn't really work out as I wanted to. So the best marketing plan that I actually found success in is actually just using Discord. And I also posted on Meetup. So basically pointing to my website. I also use Eventbrite, but I don't think I saw a lot of success on Eventbrite. So yeah, the most two successful marketing campaigns for me that worked out was Meetup and Discord. I'm also looking to partner with UFT. So I think there's some people on the UFT esports team that are actually interested in kind of partnering. So I've kind of reached out to them in the talks with them currently. But yeah, just reaching out. What I did was I have this flyer actually. I printed out, and I'm not sure if you saw it at the Shopify thing, but I posted it around. I went around UFT campus and just posted these flyers all around the old-fashioned way, just reaching out to people with in-person flyers. So yeah, I
Nice.
was really scared. Nothing was happening. Not enough people were joining, but slowly over time, it looks like some things paid off, and I started getting some people into it. So
Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty normal feeling, and that kind of never goes away in this space. You kind of just got to live to deal with it. Uh,
mhm.
I mean, every single event, like I'll pull up Javelin and look at the signups. I probably do this 3 or 4 times a day, and I'm still just surprised. Like, wow, people are actually going to our events. We've
Yeah,
been doing this for years now. So yeah, it's just again. I mean, I would argue every space has a difficulty, right? Uh, every space, pretty much, no matter what, outside of a few rare examples, which typically get eaten up really quickly. So, I mean, one example is like the cursor space. They kind of just forked the VS Code. They very quickly built a $60 billion company. Those types of opportunities will open themselves, very briefly, but for the most part, if things are very easy, they just get taken up very quickly. So what's left for people to actually build businesses in is hard spaces, right? And the events and community space, it has a lot of really good things, right? Um, for example, word of mouth advertising, people tell their friends. It can be really sticky once you're actually established. So, you get a really dedicated user base. Um, but the flip side is like the actual cold start problem in this space, and scaling it up is really slow and tedious. So that is difficult.
yeah,
Um, Generally, when we're launching in a new city, we typically work with community managers. And my advice to community managers is, don't be afraid of being annoying, right? Just be loud and confident with what you're building and be really energetic about that. And people will feel that energy and they'll want to be a part of it. And then over time, that will kind of spiral and you'll get more and more. Um, don't expect everyone to come back, especially not in the consumer space. You'll see pretty high churn, but that's okay. It's normal for this space. You do want to spend your time identifying kind of your core group of people who try you out and go like, wow, this is amazing. I want to make this a regular part of my life now. And they'll start going to your events regularly. So if you can, do your best to identify that niche and then probably start ideally holding events monthly if you can. Same time, same place. Have you
Yeah.
been looking into that?
Um, yeah, I do wanna host. I mean, okay, like, there's so many things I wanted to talk to specifically with you, which was basically, like, issues with, like, maintaining the like, having a good revenue to maintain these tournaments
Yeah.
or whatever, and also, like, the host spaces, but particularly, I did want to host events weekly, um, just because of that revenue aspect, so, like, I do wanna hosts things weekly, but like again, there's an issue with the venues with gaming cafes. There's around what like three or four at best that are like pretty good that can host tournaments, but again, they're all spread out. So there's an issue with that. So yeah, I'm hoping to maybe do weeklies, maybe more than a week. I'm not sure. Like hopefully, right now we're doing tournaments. Maybe we can move on to like leagues. Weekly leagues, something like that. I haven't really looked too deep into it, but yeah, the first issue that comes to me is right now like maintaining it by the financial issues, and then also the event space actually being able to afford it, and also have good spaces to host the tournaments as well in leagues.
Okay. Are you charging your attendees?
Yes, so right now we charge an entry fee of $20. For some context, I'm working with Invictus Gaming station, which are based in Toronto. To be fair, I've been to a lot of gaming cafes, just meeting in person, and they have a really good cafe. It's probably one of the best in Ontario. They're $20 is pretty cheap. Like they're charging $20 per computer for the whole day. Right now that's just a trial. They obviously want to increase it to probably to 40. So I will definitely have to increase the entry fee to around $40 per person to even afford like the computers themselves.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't.
And that you said that's for the whole day?
It is for so I'm booking 10 computers for the whole day. So and then if there's more than 10 people, then that's my profit, right? But then there's also a cash prize. So things go into there. If there's leagues, then there wouldn't be a cash prize. But then, yeah, I haven't fully like fleshed this out.
Right. And you're playing League of Legends, right? Is that what your tournament was?
The tournament is League of Legends. Yeah, I don't want to only focus on League of Legends, but hopefully I'll expand on like Valorant, CS, other esports.
Okay. So I guess two teams and you break even. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah, two teams. If I have the entry fees equal to the price of the computer.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's the margins are bad in this space. They just are, right? And that's one of the examples of a trade-off where you have, word of mouth advertising is it's got to be a pretty high volume play. I think there is space and opportunity to establish yourself as the premium option. But yeah, if you're wanting to host this weekly, a good solution is to just all in on the league side, run it as if it's a season, and then charge people, like $100, $200 to, participate in the full league. It's interesting is that people actually have less price sensitivity for something like that than they would for you to charge them, $20 a week. $20 a week for something like people start to feel like it's a little expensive. Um, so that's a good option. Another one is to again start with something a bit slower. It's common in the tournament space in volleyball for people to host them monthly to start. So they'll do a monthly tournament and then they'll slowly start adding on top of that. So maybe there will be a monthly tournament for a certain skill level, and then they'll add, every other week a tournament of a different skill level. So that way, that's how they can kind of fill their calendar and start doing things on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Uh, I also highly, highly recommend that you find your niche early on and you hyper focus on it. Um, so if you want to start your niche with like League of Legends in Toronto, I would say hyper focus on League of Legends into Toronto. Focus on that for longer and more than you think until you've really won that entire space, and that's when you can start launching into adjacent spaces.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair advice. I should, yeah, I think I had an idea of kind of going into that, but yeah, it's yeah, I'll definitely see how that goes. I actually had a question for you. I was actually wondering what the margins are for, I guess, volleyball and hosting that, like purchasing the or renting out the event
Yeah,
space.
we'll make about 30% margins on a game, 25 to 30. Um,
And you host like you charge like everyone around like $12 per drop in or
yeah, 12 to 13.
yeah. So do you like aim to have like a higher number of people as well, or do you have like do you have a limit? Like I guess
Um, so sorry, you're referring to our drop-in games or
yeah, drop in games, yeah.
yeah, 18 players as a max.
Mm.
Have you used Javelin much or
I think I used it once or twice. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So 18 players max, which will allow us to we kind of look at it where we want to charge people similarly to what they would pay if they were running their own game of 12 players. So if they wanted to match make and get 12 players and run a game, we'll charge them something similar to that, right, for 18 players. So
Right.
that way, kind of, if people want to take on their own work of doing everything they can, if they want to use us, we make profit on the extra 6 players per game. And then our actual games are play two, sit one. So 3 teams of 6. And then we do games same time, same place every week. And then we have an auto sign up feature that people can turn on. They save 5% per game if and it automatically adds them each week. So they go to the same game. And in the community space and in the space of like connecting people, it's not the first time that people connect that I guess relationship happens. I think this is something that a lot of people miss when they're thinking about because I think it's like a hot button issue to talk about how to connect people and how to help people socialize. And a lot of people go like, oh, I went to an event, to meet someone, like, I don't know, a paint night. And I don't know, I didn't really meet anyone. And then they go, I'm going to try a different event now. But the relationship happens on the second time you see someone, right? It's not the first time. It's when you go back the second week or the second month, I guess, if it's a tournament, and you see the same faces and you start talking to those people. And that's when you actually start building those relationships. So that's an important dynamic to, I think, not miss is trying to get kind of the same people in the room each week. And it's
Mm.
by the second week that they start kind of getting it and going, oh, I see now why.
Yeah. I think yeah, I would definitely try go for that with like the aspect of trying to have the same teams play again. Um, but
Do people sign up as individuals or is it as groups?
yeah. Yeah, so the aim for, like, PickUp Esports is mainly to have, like, just pick up, like, you just drop in, individually or with a team, you just drop in and you just play, like, if you played, like, pickup basketball, like, just, uh, in a street park or anywhere, you just drop in and you play. I wanted to kind of apply that aspect into the gaming cafes, you just drop in and play with other people, but instead of that online aspect, it's just in person, so
I see. So it'll be because I was under the assumption it was more tournament, like a tournament scene that you were running. Is it like what are you
yeah.
envisioning for the actual events?
So the tournament is the only reason I'm mainly running tournaments is two things. Is one to start building a player base. No one is just gonna drop in and anyways, like my assumption is that no one's just gonna drop in for like it's just whatever a drop in, right? Like if you just advertise this drop in, it's hard to get people into it. Or if there's no like award or like a cash prize, no one's gonna be into it. So tournament I use as kind of like a marketing to build up the player base, and second is also like yeah, just starting to, like, charge people, because it's hard to make revenue if I'm not charging people, right? So the drop-ins, like, it'll be hard to make any profit if I'm not charging them. I might have to charge them for drop-ins, but then I also have to pay the cafes, and then they could just ask, like, "Hey, why can't I just go to the cafe instead of going through you?" So it's kind of a weird, awkward, position I'm in. But if I have some incentive like a weekly league or a tournament or something, it would make sense in that sense. So I guess, that's what I've kind of pivoted to, but I still kinda
Okay.
want that aspect that I kinda talked about, just dropping in as an individual. Maybe it's in tournaments or weekly leagues, something like that. I'm not really sure yet.
Mm. No, I think whatever you go with, like typically the way this works is you test a few different things, you see what people like, and then when you identify that, you go all in and you cut everything that isn't that, you go all in on that space and you scale it up as much as you can, right? And then from there you work really, really closely with your actual customers, your users saying, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What can we do to improve? Did you have any questions? And from there, you're then working on incremental improvements to your actual system with whatever it is you pick, whether it's, again, tournaments or drop ins or leagues. Um, Eventually, you'll have a really robust system that a ton of people are using and are very familiar with. And at that point, you can start looking and saying, okay, maybe I'll start expanding. And whether that's into a new city, which is typically what I'd recommend, or that's into a new product offering, um, you just start, again, you just start expanding there. So, for example, in our path, we actually tested a bunch of different sports and we also tested booking courts. We tested leagues. We tested tournaments. We tested everything, right? And drop in volleyball just blew the numbers out of the water from everything else. So we went, okay, we're now a drop in volleyball company. That's all we do. And we were testing different cities and we're like, we're only now doing drop in volleyball in Toronto. That's all we're doing. And we started scaling that up. And probably one of my biggest mistakes back then that I made a lot of times is I kept thinking like, okay, now it's time for us to, launch a league, or now it's time for us to launch a training session or launch a tournament. And our system, we just hadn't built one for that. We had built a drop-in system, so players found it really confusing. So we focused more on the drop-in side. We started adding more and more kind of community features around it, like, a friending feature, a following feature, um, a feature to create groups with other people who you play with regularly. And then slowly, the tournament side kind of flowed naturally through all of that, right? Where we had built something that kind of allows it to start existing. So
Yeah.
that would be my biggest recommendation is, again, run these events like confidently and vocally. You're going to lose money on some events. Like it doesn't feel good. You just have to accept that. And then once you find something that works, go all in on establishing like a regular, consistent customer base with that, and focus very closely on then turning that experience through your system into the best experience it can be.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I'm always scared, man, like, it's always hard going into these things, and you're losing money, and then you're just like, "Man, is this even worth it?" Because honestly, that's genuinely the thoughts that I have, like, currently is just, like, "Is this even profitable?" Like, what am I like, is should I just pivot into, like, AI? Like, should I just go into that instead? Like,
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
doing AI, I might as well do that, but yeah, as a event, like, startup, like, based startup, like, I have a lot of these doubts, because there's it doesn't look like there's a lot of profit, so I'm just not sure. Like, do you regret going into this space, or I guess was it, do you think
no,
it's
I love my job. It's you think about like all the different jobs you could be working right now, and I get to play volleyball as part of my job, right? Um, I mean, the reason, like I said, we were testing everything, but one of the reasons we were running drop-in volleyball early on was because that was just what I wanted to run, right? We kind of launched after the pandemic and I wanted to play volleyball. So I started running drop-ins on our app and they kind of just blew up. Um, so yeah, I mean, you'll find this too, like at the end of the day, work is work. But if you find something that works here and you find a system to continually improve your business, it's a pretty rewarding space to be in. Although I mean, there will always be like cash flow issues and it will always grow slower compared to most other businesses. But those are just things you just have to accept with this space. The flip side being, again, it's very fun and it's very sticky once you got a customer base.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm honestly excited to looking forward. I could play League myself in some of the tournaments and events, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I played a ton of League growing up. I
Oh,
don't uh I don't play competitive video games. Actually, a Javelin co-founder, my co-founder was a Challenger League player.
wow.
Yeah, I don't play competitive games anymore just because I find they take a bit too much. And I don't feel like, I don't know, personal growth, I guess, when I'm playing them.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely not
um,
productive, yeah. I would ag
but I mean, it's a good hobby. You can make the same argument with volleyball, right? It's just something that, some people like to get into and obsess over. Interestingly enough, I think there's a similar dynamic to like competitive video games and any kind of rally sport. So volleyball, pickleball, tennis,
Mhm.
is that they're very skill dependent and they take so much time to work on and improve. And they have so much like randomness inherently in the way they're played that they are both very addicting. And whether you are addicted to kind of like, the intense rallies or the kind of gradual skill progression and like the grind. I think people get addicted to both of those types of games for similar reasons.
Yeah. I've actually played a lot of sports my entire life, like, I used to play a lot of volleyball in high school, I moved to basketball now, and I'm getting into tennis mainly, but also pickleball as well, so I can definitely see the relationship on, like, how addicting it gets, like, I've been wanting to play every day. But then there's also, like, just League of Legends, which I feel like more than anything is the most addicting game, and it's cursed, like, you can't stop. So, I guess I'm here now and I'm just working on it, but, um, yeah, it's total time kill as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting into the space of like selling crack to crackheads is, I
Yeah.
guess, profitable, right? So,
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, maybe I created it just for myself as well to kind of have that space, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we can also expand to Valorant, but like you said, I'll probably have to stick to League of Legends for a bit and then get that customer group. I just hope. So sorry, I did have a question as well. Like, did you build out your app first, or did you build out your website? Because I know, like, I'm trying to build out that social aspect that you talked about with friend groups and all these things, but genuinely, it's hard to kind of have that social aspect on websites because no one really, no one's going to be notified on their website until they go on the website. But on an app, they're always notified right away.
yeah. So we built the app first. In fact, we don't have a web platform for what we do. Um, But we could only do that because we were in a very unique situation, and that's that we were launching at the tail end of the pandemic. So we were launching at a time when the demand and I guess the timing for what we were building was massive, right? People were sitting at home for year plus, just frustrated over not being able to do anything. And then we could kind of come into the market and say, hey, now there's an app to help you do things. So when we were launching, a lot of people, it was in a time period where a lot of people were willing to download or try an app to socialize or play a sport. So we could launch with an app. These days, however, if you don't have some crazy timing piece like that, I mean, people just won't download an app, right? You have to be pretty convincing to kind of justify space on someone's phone. Um, the flip side is now we now have a pretty established player base. So, I mean, people hear from us from their friends, right? And when you hear about an app from, a couple friends, 3, 4 friends, then it's, I think, a pretty easy decision to be like, oh, yeah, maybe I will actually download this and try it out. So if you don't have a timing piece, I would recommend, again, typically if you don't have a timing piece, I say like start with an Instagram page, right? That's my recommendation there is start with just making some posts. That's actually how we launch in new cities is we start with an Instagram page and a Facebook group, and we start growing those first before gradually trying to convert people into using the app. Um, but yeah, it sounds like you I don't know, maybe you do have a timing piece, right? Because you're getting people to create an account on a new website. So maybe there's like legitimately something there.
Yeah,
And
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 they're
for $20, which is it's insane.
yeah, and they're doing it right, which is a really good sign. I'm actually yeah, it's a very very good sign. I talk to founders all the time in this space, and like getting their first customers is like impossible for pretty much everyone. So uh, seems like you might have found something that works. Again, that's on the one hand getting customers, and on the other hand, like an actual event that they will spend money on. Lock those in, right? Those processes that you have for both of those, lock those in, keep executing on them. And now, outside of that, focus all of your attention on your existing events, your existing customers, and how to build something that will get them coming back regularly.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing now. Now that you actually have essentially cracked the code for getting your first events running.
Yeah, I actually had a question for, I guess, like, should I be worried about, like, while these events are happening, should I be worried about scaling, like, to other gaming cafes, or should I just hone down into just one, like, just
We will just stick to one court until we have an ecosystem around that court. And once we have a full ecosystem of all different skill levels and like training sessions, that's when we go, okay, let's launch in a different court. Um, so I would recommend that for you too. Focus on building an ecosystem in your one area, and then work on launching in a different area after that.
yeah, that's honestly, yeah, okay, I really appreciate that advice. Okay. Yeah, what sucks is just that this specific area comes out of premium. So, 'cause I mean, like, to be fair, it is a really good, like, location.
Is that by Young and Dundas?
Um, near Adelaide and, Yonge, I think. Uh,
Okay.
so but it is yeah, it's not a center downtown, but, it's a very nice, like, just the inside and interior, like, they have, I don't know if you've seen, like, Pro Play, but they have, like, Pro Play stage, which we're actually gonna be, like, using, which is already, it looks nice for the event. So, I've been to other gaming cafes, they look a little, like, sticky and dirty sometimes. Materials kind of overused, so there's an issues with that, but this place is really good, so I don't mind paying that extra premium, but it will cost, on that entry fee or revenue. I have to kinda think about.
Yeah. Um, no, but I think it's good that again you found something that some people are actually willing to get into. Because like I'm not gonna lie, from my own standpoint, while I won't do competitive games, like if my friends really want to play a game, I mean, I will join in on that.
Mhm.
So I think if you're helping people kind of justify that through a social aspect, like you might find a really dedicated, sticky user group here, right?
Yeah.
And whether you're starting off hosting them weekly or monthly, like you probably just want to talk to the people at the actual event, ask them what they want. Whatever you find works best there, or even bi-weekly, right? There could be a good mix there.
Mhm.
Um, Essentially, yeah, whatever you find works, uh, just execute on that and then focus on building the business around that.
Yeah.
Don't I do want to caution you, like really try your best to not be diversifying or spreading your focus or spreading yourself too thin early on. It's
Mhm.
so easy to do that in this space because you'll get people asking for a million different things and saying that they want a million different things, and you'll see a million different problems in the space. And you try to like work on all those different things. And instead of, you know, now having multiple different business units, you now just have a customer base who is really confused. So they stop using you, right? Because they don't go, I don't really know what I'm doing on this platform anymore.
Yeah. That's fair. I can see myself doing that, but I feel like you said at the beginning, I might be at that stage of trying a different few things. Maybe, like, I'm very interested in maybe, like, partnering with an intramurals team on in UFT, maybe hosting the events through there, something like that maybe. Maybe that's not spreading out too thin, hopefully, but I do wanna try things out like that. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you can try it out, but then like again, just think of what's going to be the main thing that you're focusing on. And if your main thing becomes intramurals, you know, intramural gaming, events for students, I mean, that's cool, right? But then focus on that. Or if your main thing becomes, something that's, scaled through starting with students, with by posting flyers and stuff in their events, that's cool too, and start with that, right? Um, and I mean, feel free again to try doing all this different stuff. Once you actually start executing on all of it, I think you'll find pretty quickly, okay, yeah, there's actually is just one thing that makes sense, and I just need to focus on that.
Yeah.
You always need to focus for longer and more than you think before you can start working on kind of alternative business units.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see where this tournament takes me, and hopefully, I learn a lot. I will be talking directly to the customer base, so I can get some insights
Nice.
there as well.
Very exciting.
Thank
How
you.
are you planning on running the tournament?
Good question. There's already issues that are coming with like team imbalancing, so we have to add some features about like point system. Some people are complaining that the teams are imbalanced, which is fair. So I'm kind of running into issues like hosting the event there, like managing that. And then I'm just planning to just there's just a time slot like on our website. There's a schedule on when teams play against each other. So just single elimination. I'm just gonna watch them. I have someone taking photography, so just kind of use that for marketing as well. Um, I'm not really gonna do a lot. I think I'm not sure. It's my first tournament, so I'm probably gonna make a lot of mistakes. Kind of.
Something that's again, like, let me give you my experience in the volleyball space. You might find your space is different.
Mhm.
There's typically kind of one of two things that you can sell people on. Well, okay, first off is just the actual vibe at the tournament. Are people having fun? Are they enjoying things?
Yeah.
And then the one of two things is whether you want to do or focus more on skill level matchmaking, right? And in which case that work goes down to kind of ensuring that the teams are balanced, right? Like whether you're checking players MMR, whatever it
MMR.
is,
Yeah.
MMR.
Yeah.
Um, Whether you're checking players again, rating, and then balancing teams based on that, or whether you have your own system that you build. Yeah, doing something like that is really valuable. And then the other thing would be you could also lean all in on going high level, right? And build your brand around top level. And at that point, like a high cash prize is really what matters there. And then you want to charge a bit more and give people more money if they win. And then again, in the volleyball space, people will take a photo of the winners holding up all the cash afterwards, and those
Yeah.
do really well on social media.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, I mean, I would really check again what's happening in the volleyball space. It's it's really unique in the sense that most sports you can only kind of play once per day, right? Like you can only really play one basketball game per day. You can only really play one soccer game per day. You can play a lot of volleyball in one day, right? You can play a lot. So that allows this tournament scene to grow. And that's actually, again, similar to esports. You can play a lot of a video game in one day.
Yeah.
So it can create like a pretty unique tournament scene that builds and grows differently from how most other sports can grow. Um, so yeah, I'd definitely check what's happening there and try to emulate that.
Yeah. I think I want to kind of. I mean, I don't want to stick to too high level because there's already tournaments out there that are happening that are on the pro play scene. I want to kind of stick to the amateur, but I still do want to kind of remain in the high elo for because again, I believe anyways for now the goal of pickup is just for individuals to just drop in and play against randoms or whatever. So if there's high elo players that just want to drop in and play, I want to be able to
Yeah.
accommodate for that. But also like the majority of the player base is actually around gold for League of Legends, and that kind of also stems from maybe all sports, right? Like they're more low tier that are kind of more. I wouldn't call them frequent, but that's where the majority of the player base is, right? I'm not sure if that applies to volleyball, but definitely for most esports video games. So I want to appeal to that as well. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a normal distribution, right? Like that's where most people will be. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find again, this I think will be really interesting is tons of issues just specific to your space, right? Like I know League has a reputation for being a really toxic game. And you'll probably find that, right? Where like when you have people coming out in person, they'll be getting really frustrated. On the flip side, volleyball is not a very toxic sport. It's can be judgmental. Like people will like judge you if you're not good and not want to play with you, but they generally won't really say anything. They'll just kind of leave and not want to come back. Uh, so it has its own problems there, and we had to build up like a pretty robust. We call it a tryout system. It's essentially a skill level system for our drop-in games.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of actual toxicity, pretty much never happens. I was sent a video from one of our games of like two players got into a fight like a week
Wow.
ago, 2 weeks ago. And that shocked me. I hadn't seen something like that. Like I'll maybe see it once every couple years.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, that might be a problem, right, with your community, and you might need to find ways to solve that. Um,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but I like to view it that like every problem is a good thing, right?
Mhm.
Like every problem is a justification for why, when you solve this problem, you will have a real sticky, good business. If you were building something easy, then that's bad. That's a bad space to be in because I mean, there's probably a reason why the easy stuff, it's either again already done or doesn't exist for a reason. Building in the hard space with a ton of problems is good, as long as you have that correct founder mindset where you every single problem you just identify it and then you execute on a solution, right? Just you continue to do that, and over time you'll build a really robust system. That they always say people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in three. And that's very true in my case, is the kind of compounding as you solve all these problems. Like each individual problem takes longer to solve and is harder to solve than you would think. But as your solutions all compound together, you build a really good big system over time.
Yeah. I yeah, I have nothing to say. I think I fully agree with that. I hopefully everything just works out. Right now, again, I have these small doubts. But hopefully you're right. Like hopefully these things start compounding and building up. But
When did
yeah,
you say your first tournament was?
it's on the 28th. Yeah, June
28.
on the Sunday.
What time?
Starts at 11 a.m. As the first match, and then hopefully we have a hard deadline at 6 p.m.
I'm going to a birthday on the 28th. Otherwise, I'd stop by. It
Yeah,
sounds
no
like it
worries,
would
no
be
worries.
fun.
I'll hopefully have some pictures, and maybe I'll show at the Shopify. You can check out some pictures. I'll show you in person. Hopefully, there's a lot of marketing stuff done for that to justify how good it was.
Yeah. And the pictures do really well. People love that. We'll
Yeah,
take photos of all the teams who come out and also do photos of like people playing.
yeah. I
And
specifically bought a photographer just for this,
nice.
which does go into my paycheck, but hopefully it's worth, like you said, good investment.
Yeah. And then we have our own Instagram channel, and we view our Instagram channel as a catalyst for growing volleyball, right?
Mhm,
So we'll have one for each of the cities we're in, like Javelin Toronto, Javelin Ottawa, Javelin Calgary,
mhm.
Edmonton. And then we have a main app Javelin account, and that app Javelin account, we're just thinking again, like how can we make volleyball look cool? How can we showcase players? How can we grow the sport? So that is more about, again, just growing the overall sport by creating cool content for the sport. And then our actual individual city specific accounts is where we share updates on upcoming games.
Yeah, how did you manage doing all this at the beginning? Because right now I'm a solo founder, right? Like, it's just me. How'd you even find or, like, get that trust to get a co-founder and kind of build that out?
Um, yeah, it's I mean, well, first off, getting a co-founder is really hard because
Yeah,
realistically, like
yeah.
most co-founder relationships don't work. So I would make sure you have some kind of trial experience working with someone on something, because you might think you know someone, but as soon as you start working on a business with them, like it completely changes everything. So that would be my first recommendation. Second, like these days, is also like try to stay as lean as you can for as long as you can. So try to avoid expanding your team as much as possible. Um, you'll find it just kind of creates a ton of potential problems, like whether it's legal issues or people issues. Those are just very difficult to deal with early on. Um, and then I, I think for you, try to visualize as if you have like this one main thing you do, whether it's a weekly tournament or a monthly tournament. Visualize that that is your entire business, right? Like that community in that space, that's what you do now. Just that one event, that one tournament. Pour everything you have into that. Pour your heart and soul into that and making that experience as good as possible for your customers. And then they'll start pulling from you, right? The demand will shift where they're then begging you to host more events. They're begging you to add or create these new features. And then you just start making new events based on their demand, their direct demand. So that would be my big recommendation there is again, really try to focus just on the one event you're hosting and making that experience as good as possible and then gradually build on top of that.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, yeah, I can see that happening. I think I'm gonna try. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, maybe I'll try the weekly and see how it goes. Try building on that, and if hopefully custom. Like, I mean, man, I'm just whatever happens. Like, I'm just happy that I got such a high turnout on this tournament. I was like, I had my expectations really low. So yeah, hopefully this kind of traverses into the next upcoming tournaments, and I get that same kind of energy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe if you can try to in a way to create like a bit of a shortage. That helps a lot too.
Well, what do you mean by that?
So I mean, do you have a cap of how many teams or players you'll accept?
Yeah, there's eight teams right now. I shouldn't even be having eight teams. Like there should be a 6 team cap, but there's an 8 team cap right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Um try that for next week, right? Cap it at 6 teams. Um let everyone know and you'll get people trying to sign up early. And
Mhm.
once things feel like hard to get into, that's when they feel very valuable for players.
Oh, okay.
Right. Once they think like, oh my God, you got to sign up in advance. Like we see this in Toronto, um, where we have a huge shortage of courts in Toronto because we just can't get courts in the core city. All of our courts are on the outskirts. So we have this one game, or we're technically running 4 games in like core downtown Toronto, and I go to them sometimes, and the players will all tell me their strategies for getting into the game, and they'll be like, "I have 3 alarms set for this exact time," and they go off as soon as the registration opens. So then I open it and like try to sign up, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
similar to Shopify, I'd argue. Like I
Yeah.
mean, people set alarms to get to sign up for their Builder Sundays.
Yes. Yes.
If there's a
I
shortage for things, it's yeah, people view it as very valuable.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I will definitely be applying that. I think yeah, I sorry, I actually I was curious, like have you also like looked into I'm not sure if you do this already or not, so correct me if I'm wrong, but have you looked into like community centers or do you stay away from them or do you already work with
Um, well, yeah, so that is what we do when we do work in Toronto, but most community centers have pretty big incentives to work with youth groups, and they also run their own drop-in volleyballs that, like, I guess the government subsidizes. So they view us as not a target group to work with, and also as a competitor. So they actually mostly don't want to work with us. So when we ask for times, they'll just say no. Uh, but I mean, our Toronto games, in our Toronto courts, in the one court that we are in, every July and August, they'll open up like a ton of new time slots for us so we can create a ton more games downtown in the city. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the summer, we have to close them all again, and our players all get mad at us.
Yeah.
Um, which is, yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. We wish we could run more in the city, but for the
Mhm.
time being, it's not super accessible.
Yeah. The reason I asked is just because like I was okay, like say far-fetched, like this is in my dreams, right? But say like I need a scale. I feel like the limiting factor or the bottleneck will definitely come from the venues itself. There's not many gaming cafes, just like I mean, I'm not sure how many venues there are for, like, volleyball courts. Imagine there's a lot more, and then obviously there's community centers, but for gaming cafes, it's a good 3 1. So, I was thinking, like, would it be a good investment to kind of, I don't know, purchase my own, like maybe I have a truck with a bunch of, like, computers, and maybe we can bring them into, like, bigger venues or host those out or something like that. Would that be a better kind of, business idea than just kind of relying on gaming cafes to host tournaments?
No, I think that sounds really cool. Like finding a multi-purpose room at a
Mhm.
community center and running your own events there.
Yeah.
Um, could maybe look into partnering, I don't know, with like maybe poker rooms too. It could be interesting stuff like that. Again, my caution there would just be that is a completely different business. So
Mm.
if that's what you want to do, I would encourage you to try to do that from the start.
I feel like it's very similar because all it is just changing the space of where you play, but the player base and the tournaments and all those things are still remain the same. That's what I.
Um, well, it's about scaling that would be difficult. You're not gonna be making any serious money in this space until you're running, I don't know, maybe like 30 plus games per week. Like that's kind of the bar for actually making money in this
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
Right. Like think about scaling your like truck system up. Or you obviously can't go to that many, so you have to have people hosting them for you.
Mhm.
Um, so entrusting other people to be driving around a truck and setting up their own cafes like that's challenging. So that would just be my caution is again it's really hard to scale in this space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess, how long is it taking you to get where you're at currently?
So we officially launched January 31st, 2022.
Mhm.
So just over 4 years now.
And do you think, like, is there anything that you could have done to expedite that, or do you, like, you wanted to do everything, like.
Yeah, I could have focused better. The
Okay.
the one common mistake that we made is I kept trying to go like, "Oh, let's try this new thing," and I wasn't saying no to things. So I think we could have focused better. The other thing, like this was a big issue for a while, is our platform had serious scaling issues just based on the volume of customers who were coming on.
Mhm.
Um, and us struggling to handle like rewrite the way that our app and that our database like handles um, everything essentially set us back by maybe close to a year because it was really frustrating for our customers if everything's slow and not loading properly and we just couldn't scale anymore, so we were seeing high churn, we couldn't launch in new cities like how we wanted to, so that was very difficult.
Yeah,
But
fair.
that's, I don't know, something that you learn to deal with.
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of dealt with it. Like, you know how they say, like, is it when you build an MVP, don't, like, worry about whatever you have or whatever? I feel like I've done the opposite and just spent a lot of time building a scalable app even though there no one's using it, so might
I
have,
mean,
yeah, overtuned it.
sure, that's water under the bridge, right? It's a better spot to be in than not
Mhm.
having built anything.
Yeah, that's true. Um, so yeah, glad I'm here and, a little scared for the tournament that's coming up, but hopefully everything goes good.
Yeah. I'd recommend you kind of visualize like what it's gonna be like. Think about things from your customer standpoint. Like it does sound like you have a lot of teams for only how many computers did you rent?
10 computers, and we have like 7 hours to play all the
Yeah.
games.
So I mean it does because you'll kind of have like people standing around waiting a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, we actually signed a deal with the, gaming cafe, so if people want to wait around or they're waiting around, they can pay, like, a $10
Okay.
just to get another computer and play all day, so it's pretty
Okay.
good deal.
Do you have a schedule made for everything?
Yeah, there's a the website automatically just creates a schedule for where teams play against each other, and
Okay.
then, obviously, like, you can only do the first bracket, and then it just depends on which team moves forward after.
And I assume group stage, then single elimination, everyone makes playoffs, all that stuff.
Playoff what do you mean by playoffs?
Or is it just single elimination out of the gate? Like, do you have a seeding group stage or
No, like, we're just doing single elimination, you lose, you're out,
okay.
winner goes to the final. Honestly, because of the low time, because honestly, like, 7 hours is not a lot of time, with League of Legends, a game might take an hour because there's drafting and all these other things, and then the game takes, like, 40 minutes, so, um, yeah, and then there's 6 teams, so 7 hours isn't a lot of time, so I don't even know if we can do finals, like, best of 3, it might be just a single elimination final, so it's gonna be pretty scuffed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool. Yeah. No, I think it's good. As long as people know beforehand and if they can get a table on the side for $10, I think they'll be pretty happy with that. Uh,
Yeah, I'll hopefully what I'll do is, I mean, yeah, I've already notified everyone about it, it's on the poster. I'm probably gonna buy every loser, like, a small drink or something. I don't know if I should do that, but I just wanna improve the vibes, hopefully. I know there might be people some that are upset about the team imbalances or something like that.
yeah, I mean, you can pick up waters for really cheap. Although I don't know if they cafe would want you bringing in outside drinks. Um, you could also do like buy a huge thing of tangerines. You can get that for really cheap as well. Um,
Tangerines, like oranges or
yeah,
oh, like the fruit?
yeah, people love that.
Oh, okay, interesting. I don't know. I don't wanna make a mess in the gaming cafe, but, I will yeah, maybe I should ask the owner first, so
Yeah, see what they'll allow. Because that type of stuff again can be really cheap to get in bulk, and people like it.
did you do these things or, like, I guess, what did you kind of do to improve the vibes of your first couple games to, like, keep the customers?
Um, music is big.
Okay.
We learned that, and then we also learned that again for drop-in games, people also like getting recorded, so we try to set up cameras and then post the videos. And skill level matchmaking is really important. Um,
Mhm,
for drop-in volleyball, people want consistent experiences week to week. So we like to view ourselves as almost like the Starbucks of sports or like volleyball, where no matter where you go to a Starbucks, you'll probably get a pretty similar experience. They'll have similar drinks, right? Everything will be very much the same. So
mhm.
we try our best to do that, where each game at a given skill level is going to be very consistent, right? So the player base is consistent, the skill level is consistent. Just try to make that as consistent as possible.
Yeah. I don't know if this applies to volleyball, but, what I just learned, like, it's too late now, but after this tournament, I'm gonna be applying this, is just converting ranks into point-based, tiers, and, like, each team will have a cap of, like, number of points you can field. So, a high elo player might be 10 points and like a low elo player might be 5 points. And then the team cap could be like 20 points or something. So I play around with that. That's what I'm going towards. I don't know if you have any like advice for that, or maybe that's a bad idea.
No, I think that's good. For us in the tournament space, we take the highest elo on the team, so we have elos for all of our players, and then we take that as an average against the average of everyone else on the team. So essentially, it's not like a true average of everyone on the team. Is we take out the highest elo player, we take
Yep.
the average of everyone remaining, and then we take the average of those two groups.
Interesting.
It's kind of an anti-sandbagging thing where if there's one really highly rated player that people aren't just trying to put them on their team and then, have the other, because there's six people on a volleyball team. So have the other, six or, to eight players bring down the level.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm scared of. But we'll see. Yeah, awesome. Is there anything else? Maybe you have any questions for me or
Um, yeah, no, I think we are coming close to time. So, I guess, do you have any final questions? Otherwise, you could give everyone a quick wrap up, tell everyone your website, socials, anything like that.
do I have any questions? I feel like I've asked most of the questions that I was actually curious about. My biggest concern was like obviously the financial part and scaling. But I guess like to your point, I'll have to see how that goes and just
Yeah.
focus on one thing.
Early on, focus on breaking even.
Mhm.
Um, from there, I mean, once we had a number of events that were breaking even and we had high demand, we honestly just increased our prices and we just said, "Hey, sorry, like we have to." It's
Yeah,
not
that's
fun. As long as you're not doing it too often, though, people do understand.
yeah, did you I mean, this is a more personal question, I guess. Did you, like, have a full-time job on the side or a part-time job? How did you manage doing funding this and doing it?
So my co-founder and I actually built a health screening app for sports clubs during the pandemic.
Mhm,
Um, Essentially, all these clubs were scared of getting sued if people caught COVID at their games. So we built an app that did pre-screening, waiver signing, and contact tracing. And that, I mean, we were the first health screener on the market during COVID. So that just blew up overnight, right? I
mhm.
mean, that business took off like nothing I've ever felt before. And we made some good money on it, but it was obviously a temporary business. So it kind of started to I guess we kind of rolled it down at the tail end of the pandemic because we knew that it wouldn't be a forever thing, and then we launched the app or the Javelin app to get people actually playing sports, and we could use the proceeds we made from the previous business.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good. Yeah, I was just curious 'cause, I mean, I just left the job, so, like, funding it will be a little difficult, but maybe I'll have to look for another one, or maybe I just stick to this. I'm not sure.
yeah.
More personal stuff.
It's like again, this space will take a really long time to make money in. Like that's just an unfortunate thing about this space. Um, so I would recommend, focus early on breaking even and just know and accept that that's going to be your focus as a company for a while is you're just gonna be working on breaking even, and then try to build a plan on what to do outside of that. Like, whether you realize like, "Oh, I need a job outside of this," then if that's what you need, then do that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much, Justin. I
Yeah.
appreciate
No
I'm
worries, Dib.
have this
No, thanks for coming on. Always appreciate seeing a founder come on. Love talking about this space, and obviously always really cool to speak with a user as well. So why don't you tell us all where to check you out?
Yeah, for sure. Not all too many social pages just yet, but you can check out our website at www.pickupesports.com. And if you've already checked that out, you can also kind of give us a follow on our Instagram, which is just actually pickup.esports. So I'm still building that out. But yeah, that's you can also follow my LinkedIn, Divjot Bogle. That's all the socials I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Justin. You have a great day.
You too.